What's up? What's up?
Hey, hey.
Hello. How is everybody today?
Doing
I
good.
got a new camera set up, so I'm looking a little more high def, which is a little upsetting because I'm seeing all the things right now. So I'm,
You
I'm
look
like
fine.
really red. I burnt my upper lip somehow this week. I don't know how. So
Oh,
um, it
mine's doing
happens.
fine for now.
Oh well, that's good.
I
I'm glad you're feeling good.
for now. I'm gonna switch with this ear. I think I hear better. You are looking. Maybe it's my end though. The internet, I'm sure, because we do have a lot of. What we have a comment already. Oh, hey, Lois. How are you?
Hey Lois, how are you? So,
And hey, Tony.
hi Tony.
Hey,
So
Kathy. How are you?
hey Kathy, how's your week been? Tell us what's been going on in the world of Kelman Explorers.
Oh, I have my name as mine and yours. Oh well.
It's from being on other people's
Hold on. Let me fix that.
podcasts.
I can't.
Well, while he's doing that, I'll tell you guys about my week. For those of you who have not been following along or have not seen it, about a week and a half ago, I went into a puppy store and I saw some things that were very upsetting. And so I brought that to the attention of not only,
Oh, your battery is exhausted.
not my battery. I'll move it to the FaceTime. Hey.
I can hear you though.
Yeah, because I still have my mic. So yeah, basically I brought it to the attention of the store owner. He didn't do anything about it. Well, to their management team who didn't do anything about it. And then ended up bringing it to the authorities. And it's a sad outcome what happened, but what's really cool is the TikTok community is actually rallying behind this, and we're seeing some really good traction. I got to talk on Fox 13 Tampa Bay this week, and I have a couple more interviews that I'm hoping to get in the works. We've had people reach out, but I'm just waiting on some follow through. So my week has been tied up in puppy advocacy. So
that's awesome.
How's your week been?
Not quite as, I won't say
eventful?
thrilling or exciting or eventful. That's a good one. Just work and editing, and then trying to be healthy in an unhealthy world. But whatever, it's impossible.
Yeah. You want to tell everybody about what we started this week? This little agreement.
Well, we started because it's hard for me to fast. So what we're doing is we're going to fast for 20 hours a day, and then we have 22 hours a day, and then we have a 2-hour eating window from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Today we did cheat because we had to get ready for this.
Cheat, we bumped it up, so we're still doing a 2-hour eating window. We just had to bump it up. We did it
from like 4 to 6.
Yeah, we forgot about the show when we were making this pact, this agreement. We forgot about the show. So, but thank you. Kathy said you did good reporting on this. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. I know that you are, and you're not in Largo, but you're kind of down in that area. So any help you can do to push the story out, I'd appreciate it. Because for those of you who don't know the outcome, the puppy did pass away, which is pretty devastating. But then on top of it, to add salt to the wound, they only gave him a $148 citation for not getting veterinary care for the pet. Or for the puppy, rather. So don't buy your puppies at pet stores because they come from puppy mills. And I'm speaking as somebody who bought a puppy from a pet store. But lesson learned. We got really lucky. He's the best dog on the planet. And knock on wood, he's been pretty healthy.
Yeah, actually.
But that's usually not the outcome. It's usually opposites. So,
right.
But yeah. So, in the world of cruising, what's been going on this week? What do we got to talk about?
Well, I think the biggest thing today is the official inaugural cruise sailing for the Utopia of the Seas.
Utopia. It is so cool,
Yeah.
like so cool to scroll TikTok and see everybody on Utopia posting videos. I've seen Dara on there live. I've seen the people who sit around the edge of the water right there and watch the ships.
Yeah, Jennifer and Josh Cruises was there today.
I saw
too.
Josh. I don't know that I saw Jennifer's, or if I did, I think she was live with Dara. But
Yes.
yeah, I got to see that. And then I saw a video. I don't know who to credit this to. I forget, but Megan Trainor's performance on board the ship. It was exciting.
Oh, I can show. I think I can show a sneak preview of that. Also, Lalita Loca is on there.
Tony is on there. Yeah.
Hopefully this. Let's see. Hopefully this doesn't look too bad here. I have this clip. I don't know if you can hear that. You can hear it?
There you go. I can hear it. Yeah.
So that's straight from TikTok. But that was her performance, I think, last night or night
Don't
before
play
last.
it too much. You'll get demonetized.
Yeah, let's close that off here. But just a lot of people posting stuff.
On Royal Caribbean's brand new ship, Utopia of the Seas. Now, if this is not a sign to...
Like, they're having fun. Anyway, a lot of content out there. I don't know if Dara's put a TikTok up yet, but she definitely is going live. And I think she's live right now, actually. But I'm not going to show her live just in case it's...
Yeah.
Let me unshare the screen here before I get in trouble. There. Oh, is it better that way, or do you like this way?
I like that way better.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better. But yeah, so you can keep going down. Tony, I am with you. I wish I was there too. We were just talking about that, how we wish we had gotten onto an inaugural sailing. Next year, we're hoping maybe there's some ships that come out that we get to be on board for. We will see. So,
Tony, this is your first time in here that I recognize. Are you over from TikTok side?
Yeah, where do you stem from, Tony?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? I'm not blowing you out with this mic, am I?
No, I think it's. I might need to do something like that too, because I think mine is a little faint. I need to talk into the laptop.
Mole is annoying.
Probably.
You sound good. She did a room. Oh, Dara did a room tour. Okay.
She did a room tour. Okay. We'll
awesome. I'll have to go back and check it. We were driving home when we saw her live.
Horrible weather right now for us again too.
Really bad weather, so we had to turn it off.
We were almost late getting home. A lot of traffic.
We're really good at being on time to things. There's always something that gets in our way. But yeah, so I'll have to go check out her room tour. That'd be cool to see. What kind of room did she get? I wonder.
I know if it's her, it's at least an ocean view, but it might be a balcony. I think she at least always does an ocean view.
Okay.
Hey, Destination Fun, how are you?
Hey, where's Bobo? Bobo, come here.
He's with his favorite person.
Come here.
He won't come with me, and I'm the one with the treat
kind
bag.
Of dusty and crusty, guys. It's bath time, so his face is a little. Ow!
He's always looking
awkward.
He's always looking old and crusty. How old is Bubba? What did he just? Oh, no, December.
He was born in
12?
2013.
So he's turning 11 this year.
I guess so. This is shenanigans right here. This is because he gets into crap in the yard.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Problem was we raised him like a big dog, so he does big dog things. What's that? There's a viral TikTok. Have you seen that? Where it's like, I'm a big dog. I do big dogs. No.
Isn't
and then they do the little dog one. Maybe, but it's a thing on TikTok where you show your big dog and then you show your little dog. Like Bobo is our big dog.
He definitely thinks he's a big dog until he sees a big dog. Then he's usually standing right behind us.
Brat.
He's like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah. Infinite. Oh, nice. That's what
wow.
I wouldn't
That's
get it
new
in
to the Royal Caribbean brand. It debuted on the Icon.
Not international, but Royal Caribbean.
No, Royal Caribbean in general. But yeah, Celebrity innovated that style of cabin, and actually MSC is copying it on their world ships.
Shocking.
Infinite balcony. That's a beautiful room. I hope she likes it because we love that room on Celebrity. I would take that room. Oh, Lisa got that room too on the Apex. She won her upgrade. It looks like.
Nice.
Pretty cool. And she's going to be in Norway.
She shared that publicly. That she.
Oh, well, it was on TikTok anyway.
Oh,
it is now.
It's public.
I think more people watch her TikTok than will watch this, so it's fine.
Once it hits the socials, it's public. Any social.
Exactly.
Public.
But yeah, it's basically Utopia right now. Everybody's thinking about Utopia, which is kind of bad because I won't be on by myself until end of September. Maybe you'll sneak on. Who knows? You're still on the reservation, but in case you can.
I will not be sneaking on, but thank you.
Okay.
Unless you plan on being my sugar daddy.
Hey, I think I'm all out of sugar. We could be
Well, at this point,
a minimum wage sugar daddy.
I don't think minimum wage gets you on Utopia. Sorry.
No, that's like a decaf daddy. Decaf daddy. Anyway. Well, my brightness.
Sugar-free daddy. A stevia daddy. Actually, stevia is more expensive.
Yeah, it's like natural too. I like stevia. Look at my little. I need to get that.
This actually tags on to something that we were talking about as a group in Destination Funds stream, which was, remind me again, Tuesdays?
Yes.
I don't remember. I'm really bad at dates. So on their thing on Tuesdays, they were talking about this closed loop rule that, and I forget, someone's going to have to put it in the chat, right? You know what's so funny, guys? We brought it into the universe. We brought it into the universe of cruising. I don't know if you saw this, but a family of 9 was left stranded in Alaska this week.
Oh, I think I heard that.
Did you see
this?
I
didn't see it. I didn't see it. I heard somewhat about it.
They were charged $9,000 because they had not gone to a foreign country. Because when they got stranded, they were stranded in Alaska. And I guess probably most likely if it's like the itinerary we did where British Columbia, Victoria was the last port of call. I was like mind blown by that. So I don't know the actual details of it. I saw it very quickly and I hadn't had a chance to go back and look at it. But essentially, it sounds like they were on an excursion. I'm going to guess, do not quote me, that they were on one that was actually purchased through the cruise ship. Because Norwegian is actually paying them back the $9,000. So it'd be really hard pressed to believe that it was a private or a outside of the ship, basically, excursion. And so I found that really interesting that you would get that fine even, I don't know. I was just like, it was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, we literally brought that into the universe. Like we all researched it and now we're seeing it in real time.
I pulled it up here. It says Oklahoma family of 9 was left stranded in remote Alaska after their Norwegian cruise line ship left them behind and then charged the desperate family $9,000 in custom fees. The Galt family was traveling with 6 young kids, 78-year-old grandmother on July 12th when they disembarked the Norwegian Encore in Ketchikan, a small town. And that, oh my God, in Alaska. I was going to failed to properly.
We're back.
Oh, sorry, I was out. My bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, it sounds like their tour was definitely bought through it. They spent about $30,000 on the trip total, and then were hit with a $9,000 charge from the cruise line, $971 per passenger for the missing boat. That's insane.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I was like, what are the chances? We all were just talking about that, and then we see it. Because prior to, I heard of the law. Like I knew the law, but I had never seen a thing where it actually was an issue before. And I didn't realize the individual passengers could be charged. I thought, of course, the cruise line would be charged for not appropriately going where they needed to go. But I never in a million years would have thought that would have fallen on my responsibility to make sure. I would have been like, well, take me to Canada. Like it'd been cheaper to just go to Canada than it would have been to pay that $9,000. But if you're spending $30,000 on a cruise vacation,
that's a lot of money. 30. Oh my God.
Grandparents are.
I guess when you think about how many people you have, 9,000 people, 9 people.
Yeah.
But still, I think we could get 9 people on an Alaska cruise and not spend that much money. We'd be sharing rooms, but
yeah. Who knows what they had. interesting that they would even post that. Maybe they were just trying to say, I think actually Norwegian is going to be refunding them that money is what I heard.
I think I did just kind of read that, but I think me searching was like taking the internet. We have a really big cloud. I just heard thunder above us. So again, this happened last time we were live, and I think it's maybe we need to change the time or something.
Maybe we need to change where we live.
Yeah. Go to the desert. Oh my gosh.
Let's do it. Yeah, so in addition, these guests will receive a prorated refund for the 2 cruise days that they missed. A gesture of goodwill the company will provide to each of the 9 guests with a future cruise credit in the form of a 20% discount on their cruise fare that they can use towards their next voyage. You know, it's so funny. These cruise ships always do the on your next voyage. And I think these people get bitter and there's not going to be a next voyage. And maybe that's what they're banking on.
It might not be at that point. I would be ticked off that why even if they're gonna refund it anyway, why even give them that charge? Why stress them out?
Yeah.
You have a 78-year-old grandma who's probably, if she didn't pay for half of it, she's, going to, and stressed about everything. And then, oh, by the way, here's extra $971 per passenger. And, oh, but we're going to rebate it or refund it after a few days or, whatever they said to them. That's crazy.
Yeah. Did you see that another person has been canceled? Their cruise was canceled.
No. Oh, for booking number. I think I didn't see that, but I saw a traveling balloon guy on TikTok making a TikTok about that, saying, please, like being real passionate and emphatic. Is that the word, emphatic? About please don't share your booking number on, people.
Yeah.
So it must have happened. I didn't know though what exactly.
Yeah. California mother it says she initially lost $900 after she fell prey to a fraud event. And her name was Brittany Payne. And she was set to sail to Ensenada, Mexico over Mother's Day weekend. But her Carnival booking was canceled just days before, leaving her on the verge of tears. The sea-sickened scam began when she called a number for what she thought was Carnival about a cabin upgrade and spoke to someone who claimed that they were a company rep. And all of these ads are popping up. There we go. Okay. So it says, we notice here that you have an outstanding balance on your upcoming cruise for $294, and you will not be able to board if this is not taken care of. So she paid the quote unquote deck fee and hung up, but then she grew suspicious, dialed another number for Carnival, and then an actual Carnival rep picked up the phone and told her like a deck fee is not a thing, basically.
Yeah.
And that she had been scammed. And so basically, dispute it with your bank. So she disputed the charges. She got the money back. But yeah, I mean, just another thing of just really.
I never knew they were doing that at this point.
I know that's a new one. So that really stinks. It looks like she was a mother of 3. So then she told the outlet that Carnival said someone had logged into her account and canceled her trip. She suspects it was the fake rep that she was
she gave the booking number to.
Which, golly, take her money, but then to cancel her vacation, like that's wild. But maybe out of retaliation for doing the chargeback. So very, very upsetting. It says, but the cruise line couldn't help her. Her cabin was already rebooked to another customer, and the cruise ship was full, leaving her to basically have to stay home. She also lost the full $900 cost of the cabin. Because the cancellation happened within 15 days of the cruise date. So that was per Carnival's policy.
Oh my gosh.
But after apparently NBC4 LA reached out to Carnival went ahead and gave her money back. It's a little upsetting that you have to get the news involved, but also a little upsetting. I don't know. It's so crazy. Like, I think there's no doubt in my mind that these cruise ship companies are going to have to find a way to make sure that this doesn't happen, because it's not just the customers losing money. They're going to start losing money in all of this too. Yeah. And they're going to start getting bad PR. Like, there's definitely people, I would venture to say, working on the back end to figure this out. Cause I don't know whether it's a code word or I don't remember what the other suggestions were, something like,
I'm wondering if it's been happening to this extent and it's just never been reported on. or they handle it in a faster amount of time, so the customer or passenger or ex-passenger at this point doesn't feel the need to go on social media, because it's like, do I need to call the news? Okay, fine, we're gonna refund you your money and we booked you. So maybe this has kind of been happening with just here and there.
Yeah.
But it just seems weird that it's been Carnival both times, these big salacious kind of stories. And who, like, that is like, I think we would know, but maybe someone new to cruising wouldn't be suspicious of a call offering an upgrade or a mess. However they got her with the email.
I wish they would have put a screen grab of what it looked like.
Yeah.
At the email, because no doubt scammers are getting better at this, especially with AI and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they have help now, but
more and more people are. Yeah, AI. That's a good point.
It's crazy.
Make images, and at first glance, sometimes they look very real.
Yeah, they do make mention of the other girl who had her $15,000 Carnival cruise canceled, but they do say that she shared her booking number on social media by posting a screenshot. Yeah. So they do acknowledge at least that portion of it. But I don't know. And another one got.
That's kind of scary. Something to keep your eye on, guys out there booking, especially those of you new to booking. It might be best, and I think some of you on here utilize travel agents, but allegedly, I can't guarantee you, but if you book with a travel agent, the only ones that can cancel it is the travel agent. I guess they have to do it on their browser or their sign-on, because it's like attached with them. Even you can't just cancel it. You got to go through your travel agent to cancel it. So if you're really nervous, that's one avenue to go down, especially if you're going to shell out like thousands of dollars like those people have. Wow. Yeah. Insane.
Pretty wild stuff. So, what else you got for us? Here.
Destination Fun said they saw that. KB or Karen saying to Bobo.
Bobo.
Is the blue heart, does that mean Bobo? Does that, because I saw Lois put a blue heart too up here earlier.
Like the color blue.
I don't know like what it means. Does it mean anything?
No, I think you're reading into it a bit much.
I just like to know stuff. Karen also heard of that story. That is crazy. Lois, Tony, I heard that cruise hive. I heard that cruise hive. No, I wouldn't know, but I use the TA.
Yeah.
How would you know about like if somebody like, yeah, how would you know, like say, hi, this is Lois, this is Carnival calling, offering you an upgrade. Just confirm your booking number and go ahead and send me $200 and we'll, how would you know? Yeah, I think you would have to look at the number and then say, you know what, let me call you back. And then Google Carnival's number. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. My dad always told me this tip in life, especially when you're traveling in other places by your own. Never go with anybody, whether you're looking for a taxi, looking for a place to eat. Never go with somebody who comes up to you. You go up to somebody. You pick the taxi cab driver yourself. That way it's not like a shark coming after you with other intentions. And I think same with this. If they're coming after you and you don't know them, I don't know. Go with your travel agent, or you should have a PVP if it's a Carnival, if you're booking your own stuff. If they reach out to you, this is David, my PVP, his email. Let me email him back. Yeah, that sounds good. They already have your booking number. So I think that's the only way you can really know for sure is if you're the one reaching out, not trusting anything coming in randomly like that when you don't have a reason for it. You're just, at home and ring, ring, ring. Oh, how do they know you're on a cruise? That I don't know. How did they get to that point? Maybe they're just cold calling and randomly, 1 out of 10 is going to have a Carnival cruise booked. Something like that. The blue heart is for Bobo. Okay. Bobo, you got a blue heart. Good advice. And don't they usually email you? Yes, that is true. I think your PVP might call you if you had that relationship, but I think email is definitely, at least with Carnival, the preferred. And same thing with celebrity, like, hey, you want to bid on this? And it looks legit. And like they already have information about your sailing on the email. So you're like, okay, this is me. And you go through their booking engine. So anyway, yeah, I think we're all caught up.
Yep. So Carnival, I don't know if you saw, they made a change to one of their perks for frequent
I think so.
cruisers. So it used to be that Bobo's in the corner doing, what are you doing? You're being
He's doing.
suspect. He's like, I hear everyone talking to me.
He goes like this on his back, and he wants treats.
So it used to be that when you did a 5+ day sailing with Carnival and you were gold, platinum, or diamond, you would get a free drink after 5 p.m. on the last day of the cruise.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
That was stupid.
I
yeah.
never did it. I hated it.
I always forgot.
Like the last time I want to put alcohol in my body, or the last moment, is right at the end of the cruise. But okay, whatever. So anyways, as of July 20th, gold members will be able to redeem their appreciation drink on their 5+ day cruise at any bar at any time, rather than having to do it at the 5 p.m. last day. And platinum and diamond members can also order their complimentary cocktail at any time at any bar, rather than only during Sea Day brunch, which is when platinum and diamond used to. So now we get one whole free drink for a 5+ day cruise.
Hey, coming up.
We'll see if
I love that. Why not just offer it any time? It doesn't make sense. It's attached to your card. Yeah, right. About time. It's about time.
It's about.
I like that. That was good. I didn't really understand that. I think I saw a blurb on that, but I didn't. Thank you for breaking it down, because I didn't understand it.
Well, thank you to thestreet.com for breaking it down, because I did not know.
Thank you, Destination Fun. Everybody hit the like button. Hey, Warmstrong, a.k.a. Bill. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? So another fun news. Not to
spell him out, but Bill's going to be on our crew. I keep saying that next year. Our month, 29 days.
Yep. Other headline news. This is from Cruise Hive. Carnival will not stop people from cheering or jeering pure runners. They are not going to tell you what you can and cannot do.
I mean, that's just like, that's grandfathered in behavior. I don't always do it and sit there and wait for them. If I have a balcony, I'm going to definitely sit out there. But, you know, that's just customary. That's the only way those people will learn, and us included, is if there's people jeering at you. You. Anyway, I love that. Carnival does a lot of things good and right and fun. You know, they're not party poopers. And I think some cruise brands are kind of like, you know, with the duck situation on Disney, or isn't Disney that just throw them away? They don't say you can't do it, but they basically just pick them up and throw them away if they see them. They don't leave them there for a few hours. Whereas
Carnival was the opposite. They came out stating that they do not care about ducks and have at it.
Yeah.
So Carnival's definitely different in that regard. They could, if it's not harming anything, why care, you know?
Yeah, it's all in good fun. I will say, some people are going extreme with the ducks. I do like the new. Sorry, my neck is really stiff right now. The only thing is, these are choking hazards. A lot of people are going to these little baby ducks. And
I was afraid to order those. Yeah, they're so.
It's a lot easier to walk around with a pocket full of these and bloop, and it's hard to see these things. And if this is on the ground, this is hard plastic on a hard floor. That is a slip hazard. And, I'm just saying, I think sometimes just stick with the old little duck. And I like the ones, your idea was smart. I like you made those bracelets, and I don't have an example near me, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I do have 500 Mexican pesos in here, which is random.
You have my desk where I used to store weird things.
Oh, but yeah, I don't have one of your bracelets. But you made a friendship bracelet with the duck charm, and then it spelled a scent on it, and we left those in random places. You did. And I think that's another way to do it, but without being too sloppy, because these little things, those little tiny ones, that becomes clutter in a way to me. Unless you see, maybe hand them out to a kid. Here you go. You want a duck? Or you might get in trouble for doing that too. I don't know. That's a little too small, I think. It's cool because they're magnetic, so that's a good way. They're off the ground that way.
You could put magnets on the big ones too, if you wanted to.
Yeah. I do like that about Carnival, like you said. They're not prudish or we're a luxury. You can be, but it's not like this image that you have to uphold, because it's, anyway, you know what I'm saying.
Ooh, I wonder what let's do financial cruise news. Where are we at with Carnival stock prices?
Oh, yeah.
I don't care about Carnival because I'm personally vested. We are at $18.43. Woohoo! I think I last called in at like 17 something. I can't remember. On the flip, Royal Caribbean is $168. Guys.
They just got Utopia out there, man.
Wild.
Today, officially. I bet you they spiked the last week.
When I
Megan Trainor.
When I started investing in Carnival, because it was like within my price point, right around the same time, Royal Caribbean was at around 60. Whoa. July 8th, 2022. Take a guess. So it's 168 and change right now for Royal Caribbean. So roughly 2 years ago, how much do you think that Royal Caribbean stock was at?
I was right post-pandemic, so I would say low 50s.
You weren't far off. 34.44.
Wow.
If you had invested 2 years ago into Royal Caribbean, like I told you to, Dad, man, that investment return.
Yeah, you would have quadrupled.
I mean,
what's the 5 times?
Don't embarrass us. We're so bad now.
Anyway, 5 times your money, basically. It sounds like, right?
I don't have my what's it called near me?
Quintupled is I think
is
how
that
you
the
say
word?
that.
So what we do?
So if you put in 1,000, you would have had about $5,000 right now. So 10,000, 50,000.
168. What did I say? 34, 35?
34 at 14 or 34.10 or something like that.
Yeah, about 4 times your money. That's crazy. Norwegian is they're having a little bit of an off time right now. They're plummeting a bit.
I don't see why Carnivals hasn't rebounded yet. I think because
what are you talking about?
Well, back before the pandemic, they were in the 40s, the 60s.
Back before the pandemic, they were.
Because I owned some back then, and then I sold it.
They were in the 40s. Yeah, it looks like around December 2019, it was about 47.
That's around when I sold it, actually. I think because I'm like something because it was dipping.
Oof,
and then
I would have been
nervous.
Depressed in 2020. It went from.
And then it was like $7, $8.
$42, right? February of 2020. And that was okay. And then it tanked. Its lowest it got down to was $8.49.
Wow. So, I remember that day because everybody freaked out and was like, buy this now.
Yeah, I bought it.
I think the image of them scrapping ships so really hurt them, even though financially it was a sound decision. Yeah. Just that image, I think it hurt a lot of people. Like people like me, I'm not willing to trust them. I hate to say that still into, buying. But I think if you're doing it how you're doing it, you're buying little bits here and there and not putting a big chunk of money in there. But now you've got a pretty good size hot wedge in that market. And it seems to be stabilized and it's slowly kind of climbing, which is good. But I think it should rebound to like the upper 20s. I don't see why not. 30.
Well, the thing is, there's not as much hype around Carnival as there was around Royal, right?
That's why I'm hoping next year when the Celebration Key opens up, and then maybe if they put names behind these 2 new XL ships that they have in the roster, even though they're years out, giving it a name and something to look forward to. I think that
Royal's going to have to pull out some big ships, and I have no doubt in my mind that it's in the works. For so many years, they have never held the title of largest ship, and I think that it's time.
Oh, you mean
but
Carnival?
They're also a cash. I'm pretty sure I don't know if they're cash positive, but they're definitely not as in much debt. I'm pretty sure as Royal. I can't remember. I looked it up a long time ago, but I don't know where they sit now, and I honestly haven't read their recent releases. But anyways, boring stuff. But hopefully that stock keeps coming up. Norwegian's a little. I wonder. I don't think MSC is publicly traded.
No, I don't think so.
The cruise line, I'm sure MSC Industrial Direct is available.
It is. Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that includes the cruise line.
You are going to Hideaway Beach on your next cruise. So are we, Lois.
Ooh.
But I also want to walk around. We need to do the full walk, Coco Cay, and then Hideaway Beach. We need to go claim a little our little row. Anyway, I'll just. Okay, Armstrong saying hello to Destination Fun, vice versa. Yeah, I think it's a choking risk. That little duck.
For sure.
85. What were we talking about? The price for the Hideaway Beach?
No.
I hope not. Oh, for two people, that's about the price. If you got for two people, yeah, there's a stock right there. When you see it, that definitely puts that wow factor to it.
RCL's new class, is that the smaller ships that they're?
I think so. It's going to be. It's not going to be like small, but it's going to be smaller than what they've been focusing on, which makes sense because, like we were just talking about in your live Destination Fun about like how itineraries, they seem to have gotten less and less port days, especially I think because like you said, like we agreed the ships are getting larger. I think it saves them money even though they claim whatever, but the port fees are paid by passengers. I think it's cheaper to be at sea, just going really slow. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think if they build these smaller ships, you'll get more port days, similar to how they are in Europe and Asia, like just these really intensive, every day there's a port. Because once you get to the area, so like at sea day there, then like 5 port days, sea day back, whatever. And I think you can definitely do at least 5, if not 6 port days on a 7-day cruise with smaller ships. At least 4 days, because these 3 days, that's a little bit, it's not enough. And they're back to back, which I don't like. I like to have a little bit of a pause sometimes, 2 together, pause, sea day, another 2, something like that. You know, that's more.
Well, I think the thing that we're looking at right now is that cruising really is at a crossroads, right? And it's a gamble on, is cruising going to become more popular? Because if cruising does not become more popular and you're left with the same, what I think the average is like 10% of the US population has been on a cruise, or 15, I can't remember. It's pretty low, right? Actually, I say that. I don't know that it's low. I don't know, like, statistically how many people have been to Las Vegas, percentage-wise. How many people have been to New York? How many people stay in hotels versus Airbnbs? I don't know. Like, I'm not into statistical data on cruising or on vacationing, but where you're at a crossroads right now with cruising, in my opinion, is that if you remain at around, you hover around under 20%, that same 20%, I wonder how many are repeat. Probably a good number. Most people who have been on a cruise will go on another cruise. There's very few people that go on it and do a one and done thing, right? Like, we don't know anybody who's cruised who has one and done. So I know for me personally, I do not care about ports of call. I'm over it. Like, we've been to so many inside of the Caribbean, and unfortunately they're becoming extremely repetitive. Maybe we haven't been there before, but it's same thing, different port, right? And so I think even with these like private islands and even these like private beach areas, it's going to become extremely repetitive. So for me, I personally like the ships. I want to know that I'm going on a really good ship. And I don't care if there's a sea day. It doesn't bother me. I have no problems with sea days. I'd rather have a sea day.
I don't either. I think I had a problem like on Celebrity Summit. It's a nice ship, but it didn't feel small, but it's just a small ship. And then after 14 days with only 4 ports, I was feeling kind of like I was kind of happy it was over. And not that I hated it. I was just ready to experience something else because it was getting.
Most people aren't going on 14-day cruises.
Well, I know, but
Pretty
I'm saying
weird.
like I do think that in like a transatlantic, like that's, you'll save money, but those high intensive sea days and then those 3 or 4 ports are and they're stacked on the end. So that in between is it's relaxing. It's a lot of things, but I think on one of these huge Oasis ships, I would be much more apt to being, well, today I'm going to go to Central Park. Tomorrow I'm going to go, there's a lot.
So that's my argument right there. You're saying exactly what I'm trying to say, which is that if cruisers are repeat and cruising or the cruising companies don't capture more of the population to get onto a ship, your repeat customers are going to be over the ports of call. Yeah. They're going to want more sea days, which means if they want more sea days, they want to go on a ship that's worth having sea days on. But if they are able to change it and convert it, which they might be, because more and more, I think that millennials and Gen Z are dropping that stigma of cruising being for old people, right? Yeah. Like when we were cruising in our 20s, it was very strange to go on a cruise. People our age didn't go on cruises. It was almost borderline like embarrassing to say you're going on a cruise because that's how you just grew up with that. Like that's what cruising is, right? But that's all changing. And so if they're able to grab a larger market, a larger part of the pie, and, those are the people who, yes, they want to experience nice ships, but they also, when I first started cruising, I wanted to go to ports of call. I wanted to go outside and see something different besides the United States. I wanted to go down into the Caribbean. But like with our European cruise, where it was port after port after port after port, freaking exhausting.
I think we're back.
Good enough for that. The problem with cruising and trying to do, a city a day is that it is a slower method of travel, right? So like you're only getting max 8 hours a day to be in that city, pack it all in, try to do as much as you can. And when you don't get that rest, that sea day to kind of like decompress. And then, with the 14-day cruise, it was nice having sea days because we could go to our cities that we went to, take a couple of days, reset, then hit the ground running again for the next 2 sea days or the next 2 port days. And so, I think that we're really going to see a change in cruising right now. And I couldn't tell you which way it's going to go because I think it depends on how well they're able to market themselves. But you can already tell that they're marketing themselves to a younger audience.
Yeah.
When we were on the ship, we saw the last ship we were on, Simone Biles was the godmother. You have Meghan Trainor being the godmother. You didn't see godmothers that were in their 20s and 30s. Never saw that. It was usually older, more, dignified, not dignified, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? But I guess more established.
Relevant, maybe.
Yeah, godmothers. Like you didn't see, but very much I think they're intentionally going after now,
that's
the
true.
media
That's a good
for
point.
a younger generation, which honestly, that's going to be what saves cruising. Because if you don't look at it, the baby boomers will only be cruising for so long before they're not going to cruise anymore, so you need to reach the next generation. And you're only going to be able to do that by putting out ships like Icon, Star, Wonder, Utopia. But I think what'll be nice about Royal, and I think what'll be what I think they'll prove is that they're going to be capable of building smaller ships that can accommodate both. So I don't know what their ships look like. I have no idea. I've never seen any renderings. Actually, hearing that it's the Destination Fun just wrote, it's the Discovery class. I didn't even know the name of the class, but there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to be able to take what they've done with Icon and Wonder and scale it back and still have that really attractive ship for a younger generation while also being able to get into ports of call. So I think Royal's got it right. And that's where I think Carnival doesn't have it right yet. They're trying and they might get there. And then MSC will just copy whatever they do. So it'll work out perfectly for them. So
I think Carnival's trying, but I think it's similar to compare them to Walmart, but they're behind on the.
I don't like that. I'm going to stop you. I don't like that.
Well, I'm just saying, like when I work with Walmart tried to adapt with. Now they're doing their job with trends in apparel specifically. Yeah. So like they would get stuff, and by the time we got it at a low price, it wasn't really in style anymore. But now I think they're doing a better job at being on the front side of that wave of what's hot this season. And I think now going Carnival's trying, but then I think they're getting cut back. They come with this idea and then they get torn down to that because of the budget and the money. And so I think to piggyback on what you're saying, that cruise lines are going to focus more on these private island experiences, and not only on you. I think that's smart. Carnival's doing that because they weren't good. Half Moon Cay and Princess Cay, in my opinion, compared to Coco Cay. And I think if they can keep doing that, then they always have a place they're welcome, and they can offer cheaper cruises, I believe, because there shouldn't be port fees for that. I could be wrong, but because it's still in the country, I don't know how that works.
No, I don't know.
But it's not going to be the same as if they went to like Key West and went to Bahamas. And I really think for me, I'd rather that in the places we've been. I don't mind going back to Coco Cay over and over. But I do mind going to Nassau over and over. Like you said, I just prefer to stay on the ship. Usually it's just like, what else am I going to do in Nassau? And it's beautiful. It's just not for me, all the time. And it's going to be interesting, though. I think that, like you said, the next couple of years are going to be I think they are catering to younger people, and the younger people with disposable incomes who realize that cruising is hip, or can be, and it's cheaper than what they now, like back in the day, cruising was cheap, but I think it was one of the most expensive ways to travel originally when it first kind of started. And then it became cheaper because, taxes and stuff with our stuff here. But when these millennials and what's the other generation? Zennials? Gen Z. When they go on like road trips and they go to Europe, like they're paying a lot of money compared to when we did it and 10, 20 years ago. So I think when they see that cruising can be cool and Instagram worthy, and it's like a half or a quarter of the cost of doing the equivalent trip, flying in and renting a Airbnb or VRBO or whatever. And I think that it is smart. I hate to say that, but I think they should put all their advertising dollars on the young people who have not cruised, because I think that's the majority of the non-cruising people. I think it's people like you said who have cruised. I did Google it while you're talking. It said they estimate it to be 15%, which is what you said. A population has cruised before. 7 to 8% have done so within the last 3 years, which is crazy. So half.
This is post-pandemic?
I don't know when this is actually. It's just a blur, it's wild.
When was the article written?
I didn't click on it. I'm reading it on the. Let me zoom in here.
I'm gonna guess probably post.
Post
Pandy Wandy.
It's not showing here. This says 2024, so I think it was recently. And that means 85% of the U.S. citizens have never taken a cruise, which represents a remarkable upside potential for this sector.
Yeah.
And I was thinking while you were saying this, word of mouth is the best thing. That's why they focus so much on usually giving really great service and great food. Is 45% of the influence when people determine. That's like the biggest factor.
My marketing brain, for those of you who don't know, that's what I started doing before I shifted, says that word of mouth for cruising actually isn't the best form, or it's not going to be.
Really?
Think about how hard it's been to convince certain people to go on cruises. When people are dead set against a cruise, they are dead set against a cruise. We have a couple family members that absolutely will not budge.
But
no matter how amazing we tell them a cruise is, no matter how we show them they can go to these exotic destinations, the food's incredible, the entertainment's great, they won't. But
when they see YouTube videos, not really ours.
That's not word of mouth. That's no longer word of mouth. That's social media. That's what I was going to say, is that I think that, and this is where I think that the cruise industry has been a bit behind, is social media. They only now, like we just saw a collab with Red Bull and Royal Caribbean today that I showed him a video of. Red Bull had a base jumper, or not a base jumper, a paraglider. Oh, I'm by myself. Hey, this is my show now, guys. I'm taking over. Anyways, they showed a Red Bull paraglider jump onto, I can't figure out what ship it was. It was either Icon or probably Utopia. Dang, he's back. It's not my show anymore. Hey. Oh, you're back. Look up.
Hey. I don't know why it does that.
But yeah, so anyways, I think that now they are finally understanding the influence that social media, but where I think they're going to go wrong with it is what I'm predicting is they're not going to focus heavily on cruise social media influencers. I think they're going to start targeting regular influencers. And the problem with targeting regular influencers as opposed to putting money at cruise influencers is that, let's say I'm a person with 2.5 million followers, right? And I've built my following dancing provocatively the dumbass songs on TikTok, right? Like that's how TikTok started. Good for them. Listen, if I had an ass to shake on TikTok and make money off of it, you better believe I'd be jiggling, but I don't. And so anyways, I suspect that they're going to throw free cruises and brand deals at these people. But the problem with it is it's not going to convert the way that if you had taken the opportunity to boost up and build cruise influencers. Yeah. And the reason why I think that it's not going to do well is because when you think about the number of brand deals and partnerships that these 2.5 million, usually like you're over 1 million influencers that are getting $30, $40, $200,000 a post, some of them $1 million a post, it's going to be kind of a one and done. And I think that with cruising, you have to sell it as a life. I don't want to say lifestyle in that you got to live it day to day, but it's part of your lifestyle that this is how you vacation, because a lot of people will automatically default to all-inclusive resorts or to going to Vegas or going to New York. And those are great. Those are amazing vacations. We've done it too. But with cruising, I think you have to have a certain level and understanding of cruising and be able to sell the experience of what cruising is, because it's so much more than just stuff your gullet with included food and climb a rock wall. Like you can climb a rock wall and go to an all-you-can-eat buffet anywhere, but to be able to sell cruising and what it is. And honestly, I think that on the flip side, and this is no offense to anybody who's in social media influencing on the cruise ship side, but we don't have really strong influencers on our side yet. Like we don't have a person who, we have, we do have YouTubers who are good at, hey, I went on a cruise, this is what it is, right? But there is something to when you're trying to we don't have, I guess what I should say, I'm going to dig myself a grave here. I'm not going to be able to get out of it. We don't have Gen Z millennial influencers in the cruise space that do a good job at it. We have them. They exist. You're a millennial, technically. There's plenty of people who Gen X on here that do it. But we don't have those people who know how to capture an audience the way that.
I think the problem is that's not the audience
influencers
for now on that platform. Like when I look at the average age, I think they're getting it from Instagram for sure and like whatever TikTok, but they're not dialed into it like obsessed like most of us are. They're not. I'm confused. The younger generations aren't.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You got to sell them on it.
You got to sell them on it, but like even if like the young people doing it, their audiences are usually around our age, if not a little older. They're in my middle age or whatever that age group is, like 30s to 50s, somewhere in there. That's like the range for people who watch cruise content on a regular basis. And I think that I don't even know if you can fix that without there being people who are actually just some, like the new generation, they look at it more and they get info and then they're done. They don't become like subscribers.
Right. But that's not the audience base that I'm talking about. You don't need to influence people who watch cruise content all day long. You don't need to convince me to go on a cruise. I go on cruises.
No, I'm saying like that's why my audience is like the age is older because the younger people don't stay.
Goes on cruises. What I'm talking about is there is no lifestyle influencer in the cruising space. What I will say, the people who are going to probably do the best are the people who actually work on the ships. Like the girl who does the ice skating, the dancer, the guy who lives. I don't know names. I'm terrible at names.
Casino guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those people are kind of the stepping stone, but I think ultimately what it's going to take to get people cruising, and this is removing me. Listen, I'm part of that. I lost him again. You're lost again.
I know.
Okay, hey. What it's going to take is somebody who is an actual influencer, but then when they go on, like their whole life, or their entire content is not going to be cruising, right? But when they go on vacations, it's going to be cruising vacations. So somebody who actually, believe it or not, is actually doing it pretty well is Kyle Paulo. I don't watch him very much.
I don't at all.
He's not for you, right? He's not younger. I don't watch him. He's just not he's not for me. I'm 36 years old. I'm not going to watch a 20 something year old, but I think that he's done 30s. A good job because is he?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know how old he is. He seems young. He has a young energy. And I think that he's going to do a really good job because what he does is he actually has merged his content with Disney and cruising, right? So that's his lifestyle, is that he's into Disney and he's into cruising.
Oh, he just turned 30.
He just turned 30? Okay. So I guess he's like, I could watch him and not feel weird about it.
1994.
And I've watched his stuff. I'm not saying I haven't watched it, but I'm saying that types like him, that if you go and you watch his videos, it's not just cruising. Like he's a true vlogger. Like he vlogs his life. He shows what life is like. And then he, basically has, I think when he started, and don't quote me, I'm going off of things he said, but he used to post a video a day. That was like his thing to build his channel, right? And he lived in, I think he was like a Disney person. Like I think maybe he was part of the college program. He did something inside of Disney, right? So he started as Disney content. Then when he was Disney content, he started to go on Disney cruises. And then he naturally just moved over into doing, I think he still primarily does Disney cruises, but then he also does like Royal. I don't know that
Royal,
I've ever
Virgin. The thing is, his cruise content gives him the most views. And that's what happens is all these people, because of the average age of, they're not his audience. They're this like us. I hate to say that, but like I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
But what he's done is he's built a following that follows him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's now been able to take that younger generation. Because let's be real, nobody over 35 is watching daily Kyle Paulo vlogs. Like it's just not happening. Like we don't do, especially however long ago.
I used to when it was.
You used to watch his daily content.
Yeah, I used to, and then I just got kind of like about it. Like I don't know, it felt repetitive.
Well,
About 2 years ago, I stopped.
Okay. Well, he has a loyal following that watches him all the time. And so he's now taken that following and he's exposed them to cruising very organically, right? He didn't start a cruise channel and go, I'm going to cruise and this is the content I'm going to show you about cruising, right? He's just like, hey, I go on vacations and I go on vacations that are cruises. Yeah. And I think that organicness is what Royal and Carnival and Norwegian really need to be focusing on. They don't need to take and, they don't need to take the dancers on, because I've seen this, right? The TikTok dancers and throw a free cruise at them and say, hey, will you post about it? No. Because one post about it isn't going to happen. But somebody like Kyle, who is doing organically going on cruises and was doing so, and I don't know, maybe he is doing it because it gets a lot of views, but I think he also genuinely enjoys cruising. I don't think that he would just do it just for content. I think he genuinely, because him and his sister, I think, go a lot, or his family. So I think it's more than just, I'm guessing. I don't know the kid. I don't know anything about him.
Oh.
But anyways, that's what I'm getting at, is that his audience has a repetitive exposure to cruising as opposed to like a TikTok girl is going to do a couple posts about it and move on. That's not going to capture younger generations. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm thinking about oh gosh, I think I ran out of juice on my
You're a hot mess.
Yeah.
It's usually me who's losing cameras and I did, to be fair, when
I use this all day for my fan too, so at work, because I don't have a fan in my truck. But he's been in the news recently, but that's the thing, not news like YouTube news, so not real news. Yeah. He's been proven to have fake accounts that he comments and calls people derogatory names that comment bad on his stuff. And they found out it was him, and then
I'm so tired of internet trolls. Good for, I don't know about the derogatory, but
he's trolling, but in a very frat humor, which isn't funny usually to everybody. Anyway, I just found that weird. I'm like, who does that? Like, I have people of some of my fans that will go and anti-troll, is that the term, when somebody says something, but I never expect them to, and I I would never make a fake and make this weird, basically just saying F you, lack of better words, but
I'd have to see examples of it. Honestly, I can speak as somebody who just had a mediocre viral video happen, and the dumbass comments that came through, go off, Kyle. If they're being dumb and they're commenting dumb shit, let them have a little piece of it. But if it's truly, I'd have to read it. So I just Googled it because I'm like, is this true? I don't see anything about what you're saying. But what I do see is, hold on, this is not a Kyle Palo outing channel. I don't know what we're doing here. But anyways, Disney vlogger got outed for filming in restricted areas. That's probably the worst thing that I've seen so far as I'm scrolling the news. So whatever. You get what I'm saying. I think that cruising is they have an opportunity right now to make cruising the go-to destination for people who are going to spend their money on vacation. If they do it right, and they need to bring in, they really do need to bring in a younger generation of marketing people to make this happen. I could not take a TikTok account and make it go viral or make viral videos the way they need. You know what I mean? Like it has to be somebody who understands the psyche of what it is to be a 20 to 30-year-old and market it that. Because like even like Royal Caribbean, I think that they're getting there. I don't see stuff out of Carnival. I really don't. Maybe it's not on my algorithm, which
they
I
have
find
a young group of people they have like 5. They're employees that just do content, TikToks, and they basically are always on the ships. But they're like employees. They're not.
Oh, okay.
But they're young. They're definitely in their 20s, and they're just like, oh, there's nothing to do on a cruise here, and it's like it just shows them doing like 20 different things in one day, and like they just make those here and there, and it's very very produced looking. Even though it's not, it doesn't seem organic like you were saying. But I agree with you. I think like for me, I don't have a big following at all on YouTube, and even on TikTok where I feel like I do, I really don't. And I've influenced at least maybe more people, but one that comes to mind, I'm going to say, I don't think they're watching, but Steve, he actually subscribes here on YouTube to me, my only member. And we convinced him with our footage with the Panama Canal and then us going live. He booked the same cruise with a travel agent friend of ours on TikTok. Nice. Because of our content. He's like, I want what they had. I want to go on that ship. I want to do that. And he told me about it via messaging that he's very happy. He booked it in 2026, I believe, or next year maybe. And very exciting to me. I'm like, I can't believe like I got somebody to book a full like 14-day, 15, whatever it was, cruise.
That's brave as their first cruise.
I mean, I don't know if
you might have over-influenced him.
He wanted celebrity and he wanted that itinerary, and he just said it looked great and the questions were all answered that he had, and he was even happy to book with the travel agent. He asked me who I suggested, and I suggested somebody. And not that like I feel like I'm missing out because of, oh my gosh, if I was a travel agent, if I was getting a kickback from the cruise line, but like you're saying, it's kind of doesn't make sense for them. Like if I had a bigger audience, if I could just reach more people, all of us on here actually too, Destination Fun, people like us, I think not to like say we're not great people, but we're like normal people. Yeah. And we do like normal things. We're not, I could be speaking just for us, but like we're not parachuting. We're not, I mean, I would go on a hike though and do all that stuff, but I'm saying we're not like doing luxury only. We're not doing, sometimes we're on a budget, sometimes the budget blows out, but it's like we're just a normal average people. And I think that is your base for cruising. And like that's the thing, is I think they're going, like you said, after these models or whatever, these dancers and like that, even though it's cool to see the stuff behind them, I don't relate to that. That's not why I cruise.
But you're not going to. You're 40-something years old.
Well, I know I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that they're marketing all wrong. Like they're giving, like you said, I'm saying they should come after the people like us. They should say, hey, Destination Fun. Hey, Kelman Explorers. Hey, Nautical Wanderers. Hey, we see you're kind of up and coming. Yeah. How about we, invite all of you to come on our inaugural sailing, and then you
blows my mind that there has not been a dedicated
nothing, because we would come for free.
cruise.
We wouldn't charge them if they gave
Well,
us a
and that's
cruise.
the thing,
We
like,
would
not
show
to
up.
knock us, but like, we're not at a level that we
No,
should
I'm
influence
not.
our cruises. But, well, especially not me. But like, but I do agree with you. Like, they are missing the mark on not getting true dedicated cruising enthusiasts. And I don't disagree with you. I just think you're in a different category. Like, your age group is a different category.
Well,
right?
yeah, but I think
You guys, and
I think
and
a true
you guys, like, I don't
millennial
go on every cruise
doesn't
you
need a
don't know, but-
millennial to make up their minds. I think a
What?
true young person doesn't need to see a. That's the difference between my age, my era, and their whatever I'm saying. What am my generation versus the young people? I have to look to see people who look like me, my age, to feel like I could do it. Whereas them, I don't think they look, and if they see only 40-year-olds, I don't think they're instantly turned on. I think they're, I won't say weird, but they're a more accepting generation of ages. I could be wrong.
I think to a degree. I mean, the
not
reality is
run
the
off
human
by it.
psyche is you don't want to, it's no different than us, right? Did going on a 14-day cruise where we knew the average age was 70 make us not go? No.
No.
But how many times did we comment, damn, yeah, I feel so young on this ship?
I mean,
You know
it
what I
felt
mean?
good. I was shocked when I came
Right.
off. That was one of the only bad things of getting off that long cruise. It was like, wow,
I do
old
think
again.
that they want to see themselves represented in the demographic that's on board a cruise ship. They really, because think about it. I mean, this is the age group that, and regardless of how they were raised or what they believe or how they're more accepting, you're frozen again. There we go. Maybe you're back.
I think, yeah, it's crackling.
Oh,
Internet is crap.
you know, this is a group that they're looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You know, they're looking for somebody fun. They want to have a ship that has a nightclub on it.
Yeah.
You're in your 40s. I'm in my late 30s. We wanted to have a ship with a nightclub on it. Like, we had a good time, you know, when we had that. So I do think that that's the stuff that's not being necessarily highlighted. I mean, think of how many videos you've put out. How many times have we gone to a club on board a cruise ship in those videos?
Never.
You have not put out a video with us
No.
in a nightclub on a right.
Not yet.
And so I think that there's just a different perspective that they're not seeing and understanding. But I think where I think the cruising industry has a lot of opportunity here is that, yeah, in the 70s and 80s and 90s, there was no social media.
Yeah.
It was word of mouth. And unfortunately, word of mouth spread that it was for older people. And now we get to see a newer generation coming in and really enjoying cruising. I would love to be in my 20s right now cruising. Like, I loved being in my 20s, however long, 15 years ago cruising. Like, it was so much fun. And like, we had just tiny little ships 15 years ago, you know, comparatively. So like, how lucky are they that they're getting, you know, Icon of the Seas and Wonder and all that. So anyways.
I do think word of mouth, though, is still the biggest thing, in my opinion, because just imagine you at work, too. Like, even though they're hard to convince, when you don't convince them, they just see you going and posting pictures and talking about it. I have so many people at work who have gone on cruises because even our own, I don't want anyway, people I know, they decided because of me and us, they wanted to go and they went. They didn't like say, Kelman sent me, hey. But they went and they said they had a great time. And I know like 3 people at work, actually maybe 4, and now soon to be 5, that the big one, who I'm talking about, she's coming in September. She loved it. And it's, something that.
Was that word of mouth or was that social media?
That's word of mouth because that's me.
You would have talked about cruising that much if you weren't in it.
I talk about it all the time. People come up and ask me questions. I swear, I'm not joking, almost every day.
Well,
something
because
small,
you do this,
like, hey, should I fly the day before? Stuff that we answer all the time when we're live. And I'm like, yeah, you should always, if you can afford, fly the day before or whatever.
And I'm not saying word of mouth isn't that they need to complete. Obviously, you can have all the social media exposure you want, but if people are having a crappy time on your ship, then yes, word of mouth is important. I just don't know that there's as many people that go on 1 or 2 cruises that are as passionate about it as we are.
Right.
And that's where I genuinely advocate for influencers to be the go-to media. it's something I was watching an interview, and I will always go back to Mr. Beast because I watched so many. He's willing to give out so much information about. He has 300 million subscribers.
Yeah, he just hit that milestone. What, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. He's the number one subscribed to channel currently.
Almost a billionaire, right? Or his channel.
That part of it, he says no. But anyways. But one of the things that one of the interviewers had asked him is, why did you go into products, right? Like, why did you make Feastables? Why did you create Beast Burgers? Like, why did you do that? And for him, it made more sense because the views that he gets per video is more than the Super Bowl. Yeah. And so for him, he's like, I'm asking these brands to put up the cost of a Super Bowl commercial for every video, and it's not going to happen. He's like, so if I can just promote my own product and grow it, why wouldn't I? Because I'm not going to have a sponsor for my video, so I might as well make something that. Why are you glaring?
I'm just thinking financially how that works. So he is his own sponsor for his video, but then that's like business tax loopholes, right?
No, that's genius.
It's
why
genius,
would you not use why wouldn't you use your platform to promote your own product? Right. So what I'm getting at is you get more exposure, especially right now in the world of streaming, to social media than you ever would by buying a commercial.
Yeah.
So use your influencers and use your micro influencers. I would argue, I would love to get in front of execs at any of the large.
I would love to ask questions like that.
Companies. And say, why are you guys not putting more towards social media influencing? Like we could change this for you. Like, give us a budget. Let us make a video that's actually worth watching.
Like, just think of when we were live on TikTok. How many people have said like, I swear, I'm not joking. It's probably at least 50 people, if not more, have said, hey, just got back from my first cruise because of y'all, or hey, we booked our first cruise finally because of y'all. And that's just us. Like, and that's, and not that we deserve money from it, but like, I'm saying that the cruise brand I think they should do an annual, like they should do like a TikTok cruise or invite everybody on Utopia for these preview cruises, like fly us out there.
Parameters say, if you have X number of followers or you have X number of views or you had a viral video that, showcased. I don't think that every TikTok cruiser should be on there. Like, if you're gonna,
they definitely have people watching us. I know for a fact. I'm not saying every brand, but I know Royal Caribbean has to have somebody in a room looking at these live streams and seeing the surges.
You would think, but I don't think that they
maybe
do.
Not 24/7. I think they would.
Why I think I don't think they do, and I think that's where they're messing up.
Well, that's what they need to start.
Putting that focus on paying attention to even the micro influencers, because the world of social media has changed. It used to be it took everything, including your left kidney, to get a viral video on YouTube, right? You posted a video about a freaking condom on a lifeboat, which probably isn't going to get us invites to anywhere. But anyways, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, that's my point, is that now your micro influencers in the blink of an eye can go from being micro influencers to having a video that gets 1 million views. And you just didn't see that on YouTube. And no matter what, I will always argue that YouTube is the way to go. Whether TikTok gets shut down or I think just it is hard to maintain virality on TikTok. It's easy to get it. It's easy to not get it, right? Like, I had a video with 300K and the videos following it have not hit anything over. Well, I haven't checked it. I don't have my phone, but have not gone over 20K after it, And so on a pretty passionate issue, not even, just like, hey, I'm on a cruise. So yeah, I think that they do need to do a better job of looking at the quote unquote micro influencers, the ones who are in, the thousands, who haven't reached the millions or even the 100,000s yet. No, we don't have play buttons, but we could do something here if you gave us an opportunity. Not me. I don't enjoy it, but like, you have fun with it. You love it. You would go, I
love answering questions to the best of my ability. Like, that's all I do is answer questions. And I usually don't have the answer, but I just do with my and I'll say, this is my experience or what I would do in that situation. And I don't mind answering the same question over and over. I think that's where I'm the most unique is people get, I mean, I will, if it's something they're purposely trying to get me to be upset about, I will eventually get upset, but I'm not, it's, someone's coming in and they say, what cruise are you on a cruise? Yes, I am. And, just answer it. People are like, well, what would you think? How would you think that? Like, and I get it.
I get frustrated with like people who are influencers or trying to be influencers. They get like, read the description, read this, do that. And it's like, no, let them comment it 20 times. Do you guys not understand how engagement works? Like, please let them comment it 20 times.
Well, that's why I try to answer everything
with it.
as I'm scrolling, even though the mods answer everybody, but like I try to, like, it takes forever, but you try that, I don't mind doing that. And I not that I'm special, but I try to do that so everybody feels like their question got answered. Because when I'm in someone's live, especially with the same, I never get answered unless the people know me. Luckily, a lot of people seem to know me now on a lot of the cruise people. But even then, like I would ask a simple question like, hey, whatever, and never get answered because it's just they're too busy or they're talking or whatever. But anyway, I think
you haven't looked at comments in a while.
Oh, yeah. Let me look at everybody here. Lois said she wants sea days. I think everybody's gone now, too. But let's see. We are over an hour. We're an hour and 16, so we'll probably end it off here. Destination Fun said yes, I think, to who knows what we were talking about back then. My kids and grandkids now want to go on cruises because look at Lois. She's word of mouthing her family. No, I don't know. It's more of he's more of a Disney vlogger, but he's adding cruising content now. Probably Kyle Paulo. Same with JoJo. He was part of. No. JoJo, he's friends with Kyle, but I think JoJo was bigger at one point than Kyle, but then now Kyle is bigger than JoJo. They're friends. Sometimes they've gone on cruises, but he's a Disney vlogger, JoJo. They do it full time. He still does a video a day.
That's wild.
I am Brittany. Oh, Kyle Paulo.
Lois is still here.
Destination Fun still watches Kyle Paulo. Lois is still here. Thank you. Well, Lois, I think you're the only one. Well, there's other people in here now, it says. But I think we're going to end off. I think we talked a lot about a lot of interesting stuff here, and can't wait. I'm going to go on and see what Dara's doing right now on the Utopia. I'm sure she's doing something fun. But that's it from me. What about you? She is. If
you guys have not already, please go check out my dog video. Let me spread word about that. Other than that, I have nothing else going on. No videos, no nothing. You have your P.O. box. I don't know if you told people about your P.O. box.
We have a P.O. box, and it's in Gainesville, but the description, it's in my YouTube description and TikTok.
So if anyone wants to send us a duck to hide, we will hide your duck.
Or anything. If you want me to shout out something or pray for you or whatever, think of you or whatever. You know what I'm saying. I don't know how to, I'm there. I'm like love letters to whatever. Anyway. Good night, Destination Fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
my friends. I appreciate that. Well, good night, guys. It's been fun. And until next time, bye-bye.